It's the third largest island in Fiji, famous for its fertile volcanic soil and sought-after agricultural products such as taro and kava. Known as the Garden Island of Fiji, Taveuni lies about 7 kilometers off the southeast coast of Vanua Levu, Fiji's second largest island, and is 42 kilometers long and averages about 12 kilometers wide. Herein lies Fiji's largest forest reserve, which boasts various endangered species. Taveuni is a volcanic tropical island, thick with vegetation and dazzling with beauty. It is rugged, lush and pristine. The pristine rainforest covers much of the island, with around 80% of it protected under Forest Reserve. This forest reserve, or better known locally as the Blue Line, is the largest in Fiji, covering 27,530 acres of land.
There is more than 20 reserves in Fiji. In Taveuni there are 2 reserves. 100% of the land which is being reserved in Taveuni Forest Reserve native grant, which means that some of the chiefs back on those days did a good decision on giving the land to be reserved. Taveuni Forest Reserve and Ravilevu Nature Reserve is the largest reserve in Fiji, which means that there are a lot of biological significance or the biodiversity that needs to be conserved on this island.
The reserve offers enormous benefits to the communities. It generates a healthy ecosystem such as clean drinking water. Although the reserves offer a lot of benefits, much of Taveuni's land and forest has now been destroyed by deforestation, commercial and subsistence agriculture, or invasive alien species. This will have long-term impact on people's livelihoods.
Agricultural activities on Taveuni is basically since 1994 was specifically on the dalo production or taro production for the export market after we had taken over from Samoa, after it was infested with this taro leaf blight. And then from then on we had moved and we have seen the negative implications of taro productions, especially on our environment.
For Taveuni, the focus is to protect the forest reserve by looking at what is happening outside the reserve. There has to be much more systematic and well-regulated development on land outside the reserve, which ensures sustainable agricultural practices, efficient organization, and appropriate long-term development planning to reduce the pressure to clear forests in the reserve.
The broad vision is like to undertake sustainable forest management for prosperity and for future generation. So the broad area is like, the main thing is sustainable forest management, and we are doing that for our future generation and to improve current livelihoods of people.
Without the reserves, there's a danger that the pristine and unique ecosystem of Taveuni will be destroyed by the encroaching commercial farming, as in other parts of Fiji.
The Taveuni Forest Reserve is currently being threatened by deforestation and degradation of forest from the demand of fertile agricultural land, and this is mainly for taro and kava production. So the result is a constant search for fertile land, and this has led increasingly to the clearing of areas of land in the reserve, and also there are situations where farming on steep slopes are very common.
The serious issue is that, which I have noted myself, is like a lot of deforestation being done. We have less water on the island coming, the springs are getting dry, where we had a lot before when there was not logging, not deforestation done before. There has to be a balance of cutting things. If no, we'll have a very bad side effect of those.
In response to these problems and to protect the forest reserve from further degradation, the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) and Ministry of Agriculture and Department of Forests, is working with farmers to further their knowledge and practice on sustainable land use and land development on the margins of the forest reserve.
The introduction of these demo plots will improve the sources of income for the farmers, and not only being totally dependent on Dalo as a monocrop or Yangona as a monocrop. So what we intend to introduce here is a variety of options for the farmers to take in order to secure that income for themselves and for their families and for the future generation.
Agroforestry demonstration farms have been established, targeting those groups of farmers at Vione, Vindawa and Momidi villages. These farms demonstrate some of the sustainable farming practices to address issues concerning soil fertility, food security and conservation, and to be used as models of sustainable farming on the island.
Na bulan-bulan ini gele, boleh tembak ngani sandu tiwa semua nang gele.
For the soil fertility, I think the overuse of the land has drained most of the nutrients contained in the soil, thus reflecting the low productivity of taro. I always leave the land for some time after harvesting, and I also practice intercropping.
The demonstration plots are also aimed at ensuring that farmers plant more varied crops and fruit trees, vegetables, soil erosion conservation measures for better nutrition, and for communities to be more aware of their environment. The hope is for these farms to be able to demonstrate to farmers how they can continue farming on their existing land without the need to encroach into the forest reserve.
This program really taught me a lot of lessons, since I've been farming for more than 10 years, and over the years I've achieved a lot and lost a lot of things. Now I've learned a lot and trying to get back to where I was before and achieve more, thanks to this awareness program.
The Secretariat of the Pacific Community, with the support of FAO through the Jeff Pass project on forest conservation and protected areas, is playing a major role in contributing to the sustainable land management in the Taveuni Forest Reserve margins.
As we know, Taveuni is isolated from the main island. It is an island. And most of the people who reside here in Taveuni, they rely on the island for their livelihood. We have tourists, we have the market, Dalo market here in Taveuni. And with this landmass and the increase in population, the reserve is very important. Farmers in Taveuni need to be highlighted and empowered, that the connection of what's there in the forest will have an effect of their livelihood.
The SPC, the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Forests, and the Kaundrove Provincial Office will continue consultations in villages on the importance of protecting the reserves and respecting its boundaries.
The aim of our consultation and community awareness is, first of all, we wanted to assess and map the current land use of farming practices within and also outside the reserve boundary, and also to discuss with the stakeholders and the communities on some of the issues they are facing in terms of sustainable land management of land, especially outside the forest reserve.
The sustainability of our natural resources will require a collective effort by villages, landowners and government. I believe this consultation has been indeed timely and is being held at a critical time when there's a lot of developments. The meeting with the villagers allowed us to listen to their views and we formulate necessary plans. The timing is indeed perfect.
The Taveuni Forest Reserve is the largest in Fiji and deserves serious attention to protect and preserve its endangered endemic plants and bird species. The onus lies on the people of Taveuni and indeed of Fiji generally to protect the reserve.
Basically, I would like to share one of these American Indian proverbs to our growers in Taveuni. The proverb says this way: we did not inherit this land from our ancestors. We did not inherit this land from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our children of tomorrow. So the challenge lies us to retain this land in the state that we borrowed it from our ancestors, lush green, looking healthy.
SPC's Land Resources Division is also working with the Fiji Forestry Department, Agriculture, FAO and the people of Taveuni to ensure the reserve is protected in whatever way possible. Preservation of the Taveuni Reserve is the key to a sustainable and ecologically healthy future. It is a model for the whole of Fiji and the Pacific as a whole to follow.